Hey guys, I just wanted to give you a quick weekend update here on what's going on with my inventory because it's fluctuating fast. The ultrasound did sell already, so any of you guys that were looking forward to that, I know I had a couple people comment. It's sold, it's already shipped out, so that is off the books. There's an updated inventory list on Instagram. But I did want to touch on two things in terms of updates on inventory and on actual snakes. So I do have these. I decided to list these 4x2s with the caster. I forget what they call this. The little thing on the bottom that you set it on to stack them. I did end up listing all four of these. Two of them were never used. The two in the middle were. These are 4x2. These three are 4x2x15s, and this is a 4x2x12. They all have like the giant pieces of heat tape. I forget what they are. They're like 18 by 18 inches underneath. So those are all available. They're all from Reptile Basics / Vivarium Electronics. Obviously, these are going to be something where you're going to need to be local to come pick them up. But if you're in the Pittsburgh area, they're available. I also have another one that was a little more, a 4x2x12, I believe, that was used a little more, probably for like 4 years or so. So it's a little bit of a discount. I think I have these all around 200, including the heat pad. I think the one that was kind of more beat up was like 150, which is basically half off of what they are brand new. And they're built. They don't come built anymore. I think these ones are actually sealed too. I put caulk in the bottom so they're waterproofed, so they don't leak. So they're ready to go. I think I have it listed as if you want the whole stack, including the bottom with the casters. I think I have it for like $1,000, which is basically a discount on all of the 4x2s plus the base for free. And so I mean it's a great deal because I think these are all. I think they're all around like $350 or so each once you include like the $20 heat pad. So when you break it down to basically you're getting $100 off of each 4x2 plus the base, the caster base for free. It's a pretty sweet deal, especially because two of them are never used. So they are brand new and they're built. You don't have to worry about doing that. So if you're in the Pittsburgh area and you want any of these, I will sell them separately, but they are available now. So that's that. I have these two females that should be laying here any day, and then they will be updated on Morph Market. As you can see, they are nested down there and looking big. They're due already because today is the 19th. And this one was due to lay 2 days ago, and this one roughly tomorrow. So they should be going. This is a nice hypo pinstripe double-het clown pied, and the other one is mahogany clown. I have a couple. I literally have like maybe 10 adults left. So I'm trying to sell them. Those two females that laid last week or 2 weeks ago, they both have eaten already. I have them on auctions now, honestly pretty cheap. One's the pinstripe clown pied head hypo. I might as well just show them. This female here, she's had 2 meals for me. She's back. She's actually eating mice. She wouldn't take the ASFs, but I had her 2 meals on mice, so that's good. So she's a clown pied head hypo and a pinstripe. She had a nice clutch, and then this female passed off. Only the first proven female like this ever sold. Passed off a clown double het MJ Xanthic pied. There's never been a clown double het MJ pied sold on Morph Market. That's an adult female. That's a proven breeder. I don't even think they've been sold, actually, the triple, the clown double hets. But this is definitely the only adult proven breeder ever sold. And she's like, I think I have them both at like $1,500 on those auctions. So if they don't sell in the auctions, hit me up and I will definitely sell them at that price. And then the last part of it is these babies that I had the shed tests on. This one didn't eat yet, so I'm not really going to focus on it too much. She's the one who's not eating. So these babies, I was sort of having a little bit of a difficult time IDing them. Wish there was more light over here, but there isn't. There's not. So let me take this one out since he's so dark. Like this one to me didn't look like just a regular old confusion clown. By the way, this guy, this girl, and this girl all tested positive for het DG, and this DG tested positive for het clown. So this is a clown double het DG PIED, clown double het DG PIED. This is only a double het DG PIED, no het clown in there. This is a clown double het DG PIED, and this is a DG double het clown PIED. So I was having a sort of a hard time IDing these, and as I was looking at IDing this female here, because she just had her meals, and I listed her, I was kind of having a hard time listing it with the genes that I thought were in there, right? So the dad I bought from Canova as a hatchling. It was sold to me as a confusion leopard pinstripe ODYB possible fire, and then double het DG clown. So I wasn't questioning the double het DG clown, which obviously here we got DGs and clowns out of that clutch. And the mom was a PIED double het DG clown. So again, I wasn't concerned about the recessive genetics at all. But when I started getting these snakes out, this confusion especially, I know it didn't have the codoms that I thought, other than confusion. And this one was more simple for me. I just believe it's just a leopard pinstripe. This one I was sort of a little confused on. I think it's some combo of leopard pinstripe confusion. This one wasn't too confusing. I was just thinking it was a yellow belly. And this one to me was just pretty straightforward. It seems like an ODYB Leo. But when I started to go ID this one, so this one I was like, okay, it's a confusion. It looks a little wonky. I haven't seen any confusion clowns listed that have, let me just bring them out here, that are really this dark and have that prominent of a stripe going down the back. That's a pretty prominent dorsal stripe. And I'm thinking to myself, that's not normal from anything I've seen, just a plain confusion. And the other codoms I had in there, ODYB, leopard, pinstripe, obviously it's none of those. That's not what it looks like, especially kind of with that head stamp. So I went to go start IDing this one, this female, and I was like, well, it's a yellow belly. I said, but it's not really, matching up with anything else. I was like, there's just something else going on in there. So I went back and looked at the original listing for the sire to this clutch from Canova, and there was also black pastel and spot nose in the pairing. Now, I attached a picture of the sire to these listings, just so you guys can, whoever's interested in buying the snakes, can take a look for yourself, see what you think the sire is. But I think the idea on the sire was actually off, because I actually think that there were black pastel and spot nose in the sire. So that drastically changes what the IDs on these snakes would be. And this is, no, I'm not talking shit on Canova, because I'm sure that I've probably ID'd a snake wrong before. If any of you have been in the industry long enough, or followed my channel, or paid attention to people's store policies, the policy most people take is, we guarantee recessives because you can test for them or easy to breed them. The codoms we don't guarantee. We do our best effort to try to ID these snakes. I spend hours looking over the different morphs on Morph Market, trying to tell the different traits apart. but it's next to impossible to do sometimes when you're working with a bunch of codoms. And Ozzy, his slogan is it's a theoretical ID. So I did my best to ID that snake with the codoms, but there's no guarantee that what I ID'd it as is actually in there. And I've come across that issue a couple times with snakes I've purchased where the genes in that snake were not all there, or there was something missing, or there was something extra. And I'm never mad at that because, look, it's your job, it's my job as a buyer to be educated, to understand the risks in buying some of these snakes, and to do my research to make sure that I agree with whatever the identification of the morphs are in that snake. So in this case, Canova, you can see the listing. Again, I posted it because I'm transparent about it. The sire that I bought from him, there was black pastel, spot nose, leopard, ODYB, pinstripe confusion, possible fire. How many is that? Spot nose, leopard, pinstripe confusion, leopard, ODYB. Was that 8 codoms? Unless I'm missing one. I don't know. Look at the listing. You'll see it. The reason I bought that snake was because there were no other versions of that snake, right? But at the same time, there's potential 8 codoms. The ID from Canova could be completely off. They did the best they could. But now the only way to kind of figure out what's in there is to do a full panel test if they have all those genes, or to breed it out. Now that I'm breeding it out, I'm seeing that maybe there are some differences, and possibly black pastel and spot nose were in that pairing, and I think it probably was. I think in the case of this confusion, with how dark he is and how prominent that stripe is, I'm like 95% sure he's a confusion black pastel clown. And he's also double het DG pied. Now, even if he's only confusion clown, double het DG pied, I'm not sure if anybody's sold one of these before, at least not on Morph Market. If he's confusion black pastel clown, double het DG pied, he's definitely never been sold. So he's a one-of-a-kind snake. He's gonna be a really great breeder for somebody, especially if that black pastel proves out. Even as like just confusion, having that in that triple DG clown pied confusion is awesome. So that's what's going on with him. Now this female, she's the one who kind of made me second guess what was going on with the ID with the sire. I actually think she's a spot nose yellow belly fire clown double het DG pied. So the spot nose is what made me second guess. I was like, this doesn't look just like a yellow belly fire, or confusion too. So I think she's 4 codoms, even more powerful than that male was. And she did prove positive for DG as well. So, there's a lot going on in this clutch. Again, theoretical IDs are very difficult to work with when you have a bunch of genes. When you're only working with Orange Dream, or when you're only working with Mojave, it makes it a lot easier to figure out what's going on in the clutch. But when you're working with tons and tons of codoms from the parents, and you get this wacky looking baby, it makes it like next to impossible to figure out what the hell it is. So that's where we're at with it. Those snakes, I believe 4 of them are listed. That middle one that's not a visual clown still hasn't eaten yet, so I'm working on getting that one out the door. But the other ones all have had multiple meals. Some of them are a little smaller because they hatched really small, but they're eating. So hopefully by the time somebody gets to one of them, they're even bigger. But their weights are accurate as of today. So take a look at that clutch. They're very powerful snakes. I'm really happy with how that clutch turned out. I really hit good odds with them all being, most of them being, they're all like visual double hets, except for that one, the snake in the middle. So 4 of those snakes ended up being single visual double hets when I didn't have very good odds of hitting that. So I'm really happy with that clutch. Turned out very well. Hopefully they sell well for me. So those are those guys, and that's the update for this weekend. Hopefully, the video for next week is those 2 clutches from those females getting laid, and then we should have some lightning pieds by the beginning of August.